my cup with some Java love. Sit on down, let's talk it up. I know some laughing lattes.
Welcome to Life and Lattes with Liv and Cole. I'm Cole.
And I'm Liv.
And welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. I like your hello.
Hello.
It's just Liv and I today, so you guys are going to have to put up with us. I'm sorry. But we have some good topics.
We do.
I'm excited to talk about some of this stuff. We're going to get a little serious with you and talk about some issues, some big things that I think
you say serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethereal. Getting super ethereal.
It's true.
We're going to talk about some stuff that I think is going to affect our generation and generations to come. But before we get serious.
Yikes. We already started talking about it before the episode, and I'm like, oh my God.
I scared Liv half to death. Showed her some things she didn't know.
Left.
Right?
That's I'm done.
She's moving to the woods,
yeah.
and she's going to have no indoor plumbing or internet or anything.
I'm going to shower in the creek. That's where I'm going to bathe.
Just with a bucket.
Yep. I'm just going to become one with nature.
Oh gosh, pass.
So...
But before we get there, what are we drinking today, Liv?
So I stopped and got coffee from Coffee Junkiez. Now, I've had their lattes before, but I've never had just their coffee. But it intrigued me because they call it their Hoosier Brew, which I just thought was kind of cool. So they have a location in Kokomo and in Greenwood. So obviously,
I've never heard of them.
The Greenwood one.
Where's the Greenwood at?
It is off. What is it? Stop 11 and like in between Shelby and 31.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's tucked in there.
Yes, it's actually really funny because it used to be a bank, and so they took over. So Coffee Junkiez is also Pizza Junkiez. So they have coffee and pizza there.
Oh.
It's an interesting combo.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, I did not know anything about these guys.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
it is, like I said, their Hoosier Brew House coffee.
Is there anything else in here?
I put some, or they put some half and half and like vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Sweetener.
So super chill though.
Yeah. But it's a medium roast, and it says a smooth and flavorful.
It is super smooth.
It is very smooth. I could almost go for like a darker roast.
It's super chill. Like there's no bite to it.
No.
Like I'm getting, I mean, it tastes like coffee, but there's none of that bite that I like. I mean, and not that
it's
the
not
medium
as
roast,
like as strong of a medium roast that I prefer,
but it's probably the smoothest thing I've ever drank.
Yeah, it's good,
which is great. I mean, it's easy drinking.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to put it. But it's good. No, I like it. I'm down for this.
So I feel like we've been doing a little bit more like bigger coffee brands. So I was like, let's get back to some of our
Let's
our
go
locals. So
super good.
That's where we're at.
Try you some Coffee Junkiez. We like it.
Yep.
I cannot believe I didn't know about this place.
I feel like I've told you about it before.
Probably.
Yeah. I've not had it in a while. So
it's not exactly in my neck of the woods.
No.
So that doesn't help.
But
good to know for when I am. Because I like trying those different things. So
yep.
Thanks for bringing it in, Liv.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you'd like something easy going, that's it.
Yeah. And they also do a drink of the week, like every week. And they buy one, get one half off.
Ooh, nice.
I believe that's how it is.
Have you ever tried the pizza?
Yes.
Is it good?
We do like the pizza.
We
don't. It's good, but we've had better.
Gotcha.
So, and for, it's a little bit, I don't know, the price point isn't
it's a little pricey.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like pizza's gotten more expensive, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, which I don't understand because it's literally probably like dollars and cents to make a pizza.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they repurpose everything. I mean, the breadsticks are just pizza dough. Usually.
Oh,
I mean, usually it's all
true.
just kind of like cut up and repurposed.
Yeah.
I worked at a pizza place for a little bit when I was in high school. So
Gotcha. So you know the ins and outs.
I don't know about that. I was 16, so I don't know about that.
Oh my gosh. I just looked. Their drink of the week is 50% off. So you get a half price drink.
So, but is it buy one, get one 50% off? Or
No,
it's just 50% off?
It's just 50% off.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So.
What do they run compared to like Starbucks? Is it cheaper? Or is it about the same?
In some ways, it's probably pretty comparable.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yep. So they usually pick like a flavor or a drink of the week and make that their drink.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, a couple of things on that. I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like this has been very popular as of late. These lavender lattes. I feel like everyone's coming out with this. Like, it's been very popular.
Gotcha. I haven't noticed any of it.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
I am the wrong person.
I don't know how I really.
I don't know. I mean, I just went on vacation and there was literally no Starbucks, anywhere. So, and we pretty much made all our coffee.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those things where, like, if I don't see a sign, if I don't get an email from them, I usually don't follow enough of it to see, what the local people are doing.
Gotcha.
Although I'm waiting on Coffee House 5 to open up in Franklin because it's literally like
2
I can
seconds.
see it from my window from my office.
Right.
So I'll pay more attention to it once it's something that I can, access.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it.
Have you tried one?
I have not.
Oh,
I
okay.
almost got us one today because they came out with a lavender latte, but I just don't.
What does lavender taste like?
I don't know.
That's why I'm like, I know what it smells like.
I know, and I don't like the smell.
Oh, really?
I do not like the smell
I
of
love it.
lavender.
But I just couldn't imagine that.
Don't put it in a candle for me. A house spray, laundry detergent, lotion. I can't. I don't know what it is, but I do not like lavender. So,
Interesting.
but I'm like, maybe the taste of lavender is different.
Right? Maybe I'll hate the taste of it and you'll like the taste of it.
I don't know.
I could see like a lavender tea, but lavender coffee? I don't know. Because I would expect lavender to be somewhat like herbal.
Right.
And I just can't imagine mixing that into a coffee. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Like I've seen some that's like lavender with vanilla or like lavender honey latte. I don't know. So maybe that's something we try sometime.
I feel like we should at least try it. If it's like the trendy thing, like we might as well at least try it and be like, it's good or it's bad.
Yeah. Right.
At least inform the people so they don't have to go through, we do it for you.
Heartache.
Right.
If it's
paying for coffee and
crap.
then not, not liking it, which I couldn't imagine. Like this is what I would liken to a grande. No?
What?
Size. I'm talking size-wise, comparable to like a Starbucks. Like this is a good size
think?
coffee. No? I don't know. I don't get that many of them.
I think it's pretty close to a venti.
Oh, I don't know. I don't ever get those, so
Maybe in between.
they scare me.
Ventis?
They're big. It's a lot of coffee. I can do it with iced coffee because you're not really getting
That much.
the full amount. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to always
fair.
go back, but I don't know. Anyways, hopefully we went more in depth on that coffee than we normally do.
Yeah, I think we did.
Pick up some lavender too. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about a couple things. I went on vacation last week, and we did a really good job of hiding it. So we were very careful about how we released episodes so that you guys didn't go hungry out there waiting on some Life and Latte.
Hungry.
They're
thirsty.
They thirsty. She thirsty.
For some lattes.
Yeah. So we tried to keep everything going for you guys, keep everything moving, and so we're going to talk a little bit about how vacation went. I got some funny things to talk about, and I think Liv has some things to add in as well, just because traveling, vacation in general, the ins and outs of that, and the fun and the heartaches, because there's plenty of all of it. And then really the big thing that we're going to talk about today, and we'll go ahead and start with, is Netflix just came out with a new, I'd call documentary.
It is.
Called The Great Hack. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really pay that much attention when all of it went down. It really kind of follows everything that happened when Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook was under scrutiny over privacy issues. It supposedly had leaked data on 87 million accounts for people that were on Facebook. And I guess this had more implications than I noticed.
Yeah.
And kind of goes to show how maybe we're not paying as much attention as we should.
Yeah.
So it was kind of eye-opening.
Not reading all the terms and conditions.
Right.
You
Which
just
is
scroll, accept.
Right. But let's talk about terms and conditions. Let's start there. Like, does anybody, I know that the guy who narrates, he's kind of like the main person, and I am so sorry, but I do not remember his name, but he played a key part in it. I'll pull it up here just so we can at least give it justice, because this is kind of a big deal. But as he goes through and narrates, he talks about how he doesn't let his kids use certain apps because he pays attention and reads the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't imagine actually going through, and I mean, that's pages upon pages of everything. I mean, I know like a long time ago, South Park did an episode on reading the terms and conditions. Did you ever hear about this?
I don't think so.
It was, you know how they normally take two things and they kind of mash them together. Like they try to take like two kind of topical things and they put them together. So like they had Apple on there. And I believe at that point in time, Steve Jobs was still alive. So they kind of played on him. I don't remember if it was Tim Cook or if it was Steve Jobs. But they do this whole thing. It was called Human Centipede. And it mixed the whole human centipede thing with Apple and terms and conditions. So it was like they didn't read the terms and conditions, and they said, we can pull random people to be part of this experiment where they, you know, sew 3 people together, and they literally taped an iPad onto the front of them and like an iPhone to the back of them, and they were like, it needs to be able to read. It went through this whole thing. It was hilarious. I mean, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like the episode is a lot. Discretion for sure. Like if you can't take like that sort of humor, like don't watch it. But the premise of it, again, it's kind of a long way of talking about the premise of this whole thing where like if you don't read it, you are accepting these terms and conditions. And there's a lot to it. And it was kind of a way to like say, hey, like maybe you should, because they could be sewing you butt to mouth with 3 other people.
Yeah.
Which I get, that's like an extreme, you know what I mean? And it's only the way South Park could do it. But essentially, like this guy goes on to say that, he looks at all this for his kids because of all the things that can be in there. And he actually, there's a company called Cambridge Analytica, and I'm sure for those of you who have paid any attention to it, you know them. Yeah. Because that was a big deal. And I remembered the name, but I didn't remember the part they played in it. So it kind of focuses on them, and this guy's name is David Carroll, and he fought to get his data back from Cambridge Analytica, who was in cahoots with Facebook, I believe, to take the 87 million people's data and use it in an election, against them. And so he wanted his data. It was literally by law could get it back, and they just finally just shut the company down and refused, and they were able to escape the law because they went ahead and liquidated the company. Which is insane. That's just so... I feel speechless.
I know. It's so crazy.
And their whole thing was that human rights should include your data rights. Yeah. That's kind of like the big thing, which I don't disagree with. Right. I know we're all like opting into this, but it's still like, it's enough information that somebody could sway you in an election, which is scary.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there were so many like Facebook ads, Instagram ads out there during the election that were fake.
Yeah, and we're just going to go like straight neutral across the line here and talk about everything. Yeah. Like there was at one point in time, I know they flashed some data where I think the Hillary campaign had run 66,000 ads. It was something along those lines. And then like the Trump campaign ran like, what did they say? It was in the millions. Yeah. And it's like, what? Yeah. Oh my gosh. And they said they had 5,000 data points per person. 5,000. Yeah. Like they knew 5,000 things about me just from taking my profile from Facebook. Yeah. Like, that's scary.
It's really scary. But it's just like, I mean, how do you even avoid it?
Exactly.
Can you even opt out of? I mean, you can't.
You can't, right? You either use the product and accept, or you don't use the product. Yeah. And how many choices do we really have? Yeah. It doesn't matter who you use, whether it's Apple, Google, everybody's having problems. Yeah. And your data is just kind of floating around out there. Right. And they say they own it, which they kind of do.
Well, because you accepted it.
Right. you literally accepted a legal binding contract.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a contract, so you have to read through. I mean, that's what it is.
Crazy. And that's the thing, like, right? So I sell real estate. I deal with contracts all the time, and it kills me when people won't read the contracts, because that's a big deal. There's 8 pages of things that say, we can do this, or you can do that, or this is what you can, people sue for specific performance because you have to do what the contract says.
Right.
And if you don't, it's a legal issue.
Right.
And that's what these terms and conditions are.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, you're signing yourself away. And we don't even, I couldn't tell you what they say. There's so many pages, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I want to use this. Boop.
Yeah,
Accept.
I know. Same. And how many times have you done that?
Oh my gosh. Or they update them. They're like, we updated our terms and conditions. You're like, great, okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Delete, move on.
But like literally with everything.
Everything you touch.
Yeah. It's crazy.
This thing really hit home. And it was such an interesting kind of concept. And I get why they did it, why they kind of released it. Because like I said, I didn't really pay any attention. I'm like, Zuckerberg, that dude, there's something about his face I just can't do. They were showing stuff of him. He just looks creepy. And like part of me was like, this dude could be a robot.
I think he is.
This dude could be a robot.
Straight up a robot.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm serious.
I know.
If he came off one day and just like pulled his face back and it was just like, I'd be like,
I knew it. I called it.
I knew it.
Refer people back to this episode.
Right. Go back to episode 19, okay? We called it out.
Yeah.
Put money on it, okay?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it was an eye-opener for sure. I'm trying to think, like, going through and watching it, they were talking about, there was this one, what was her name? Brittany Kaiser. She was the one who worked for Cambridge Analytica, and she was, like, their senior kind of, like, they put her out in front. Mm-hmm. She was kind of like the spokesperson. Mm-hmm. That's probably the best way to put it. And they were literally, like, at these events, like, doing these certain things, and they're like, oh, she denied everything, and there's video. Are you kidding me? Like, this is legit. I think she was trying to save her own butt, which I get, but it was just crazy to watch it. Like, they were talking about they had helped swing elections in not only the UK, which is where they were based, but also in America, and then all these other developing countries. They go in to talk about how they would start these campaigns and they would run them on the internet, and it was all, there were brilliant minds behind this that were picking out little things like, how do we swing this election by, one of them they said by 6%. They said, which is not a lot, but it was enough to get us the win. And they literally bragged about winning, like on, like there was like a hidden camera or something got recorded. There's always something. Mm-hmm. And they were like bragging about it, like, oh, we won in this, and this, and this, and this. And then, we also like Brexit and everything. Like, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which, to play devil's advocate, it is our decision in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, what I mean? I go back and forth because I'm like, yeah, you can go online and see videos and kind of run through all this. And, maybe some of it is influential to a certain degree. But like, make up your own mind, right? I know it's being shoved in our faces, but I just see it from both directions. Yes, you can persuade people. There are people who are more persuadable than others, and that's fine. And it's scary that they can do that. But they're just using tools that these companies created. Let's go to the top. It's Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook was the one that was the most implicated in the whole thing because they have the biggest user base.
Right. Yeah.
And people experiment with people on there with ads.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
There's so much propaganda out there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was like everywhere you turned, it was just
there. Yeah.
On both sides.
Which is why I was like interested, right? We're getting ready to come up on another election. So I'm interested to see, because that was a big clampdown on like the industry. And obviously now like Facebook's whole focus now is privacy. And they're trying to push this whole thing, of course. But it's like, how much is going to change?
Yeah.
How much?
I know.
And okay, so let's go to this. Like we were talking about this before. An article came out about Apple and that these contractors that they're hiring in to work on Siri or things that have to do with Siri's getting activated by like the sound of a zipper. And they're recording these things. And then other people can hear it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's crazy to think that maybe you're being listened to at all times.
Yeah.
Which I think we already kind of knew that. But the fact that it's getting recorded and that some stranger across the world is listening to it is kind of crazy.
It's creepy. But I'm also like, because people have given us crap for having speakers and like the Google,
yes,
whatever, in each of our rooms. And of like, they're listening to you. And I'm like, yes, but so is your phone.
Right.
And your phone literally goes with you everywhere, including the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, what's
I feel bad
really...
for whoever's listening to this audio. Just listen. Whoever's like, what's your job, Jim? Oh, I'd listen to the bathroom recording.
Yeah. It's a crappy situation.
Oh. That was good.
Thank you. But, like, it's you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said at the very beginning, you get rid of everything. You don't use any of it.
Which is virtually impossible.
And you're off the grid. But even then, are you really off the grid?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? So we're all sitting here. You know, your phone is sitting out. My computer's here. My phone's out here. Audrey's got her phone out.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not have a cell phone or a computer or any of that stuff. But your phones are going to listen to me too.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it.
No.
It's just there.
Well, and then, like, it's a necessity for pretty much every job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know? So it's just like, it's creepy.
It is creepy. And that's why I think, like, David Carroll was trying to do, just to be able to have the rights to your data. Mm-hmm. I think fighting for that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Our data's out there. We know that. And we enjoy the convenience of having it, you know, having all those things. Because there's plenty of times Instagram throws me an ad for a product I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be a great product and it fits my needs.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I love that aspect of it because it makes sense. And we're going to keep evolving the technology. And it's just like, that's where ads are going. And I get that. And that's fine. I mean, I've been in that business. I've played the games. I've done some of the things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's about pushing a product, and this is just how you advertise now.
Yeah,
that's fine. But I do think that it's smart to have it somewhere where it does say legally that that's your data, and if you want to take it and you want to do something with it, you can, because it is. I mean, it's you. It's kind of a part of you now. It's an aspect of where our legal system needs to catch up with, I think.
Well, cool I just wonder if, like, how things will be for our kids, like, in the future. You know, like, all of us talking about this now, and later on, like, that's just the way that it is. You know what I mean?
I didn't have a Facebook till I was, like, a teenager, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about kids that now they have interaction with these devices from day one.
No, for sure.
They're going to have literally everything on them. And you know, myself as a parent, I store all my photos on Google Cloud, which is super convenient and it's free, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can, my kids, you know, from being born all the way up until being 4 and 5 years old, it knows their faces.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, because with my nieces and nephews, you know, I've taken pictures of them since literally day one, and it matches their newborn face to their now 7-8-year-old face. And I'm like, that's creepy.
It's creepy.
It's super weird.
Oh yeah. And see, and that's like the thing, right? Like, I'll take the convenience, but it would be really nice if I knew in the end it was my data.
Yeah.
Use it. That's fine. I'm allowing you, I will accept your terms so that you can use my data to provide me convenience, because I'm okay with that. I'm not a criminal. I'm not trying to commit any criminal acts.
Right.
Nor do I have any plans in the future to do so. I'm out on that.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it can be used against people like us, but at this moment in time, like, let my data be mine. If I want to pull it from you, I'm going to pull it from you.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I enjoy using it.
Yeah.
And of course, everything's going to have pros and cons. I mean, your data is going to get used in bad situations sometimes, and that's going to be part of it. It's out there.
Right.
What are we going to do now? We can't pull all that stuff back.
Yeah.
There's too much of it.
No. It's like the analogy with, like, the toothpaste, like the tube. Like, once you've, like, already, like, squirted out all that toothpaste, you can't put it back in the tube.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly
pretty
it.
much.
That's pretty much it. So why not at least get control of that? Which I know it's slowly getting there, but I'd be interested. Maybe we should challenge ourselves to pick a terms and conditions to read.
Read it.
Yeah. And just slowly kind of go through it, and then we can kind of come back and, like, talk about it.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, you know, possibly what we could find.
I know.
I mean, it's kind of scary, don't get me wrong.
It is.
But, I was showing Liv, I'm sure some of you people know, but for those of you who do not.
Like me. Did not know this.
Google does give you access to all your data. And if there's anything you want to get to, you can get to it. You can clear it. You can delete any of it. You can download any of it. They do give you the full ability to take it and move it and do things you want with it. Now, of course, do they have copies? That's a whole other conversation.
Right.
But for those of you who don't know, every time you either talk to Google on your phone or you talk to maybe at home like Liv and I do, that conversation or maybe that one thing you ask it to do, it actually is being recorded and transposed and it goes into your account.
So weird.
These are things that you can actually go back in and listen to, which I was showing her. I pulled up my account. It literally has the last time I talked to it this morning, which is when I asked it what temperature it was outside. And it transposes it into text. And then you can replay it and hear yourself say it. Let's see what else it gives me here. Yeah, so you can play it. It shows you, it gives you the whole details. Started by hot word. The assistant talked. And then I told it what to do. It came back at me. And that was today at 9:50 a.m. And this goes back, I guarantee you, it goes back all the way. Because I've used it forever and I don't delete any of my data. So, but it's a mapping. I don't know if you knew this either. When you go in here, you can also click on Google Maps and it shows you all your activity within Google Maps. And I'm not talking about when you ask for navigation. You can literally go back in and say, let's see. So today's the 27th. So I can go back to 2 days ago and I can see every single place I went, whether I was walking or driving, where I was, the whole thing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of tracking that goes on.
Part of me wants to just be naive and not know any of it, and innocence is bliss. Just I don't want to know any of it because it's creepy, but it's also you should probably be aware of what's going on.
Let's see.
But it's so...
Yeah, so within the Google, there's web and app activity, there's location history, your voice and audio activity, device information, YouTube search, and YouTube watch history. So for those of you out there watching sketchy videos on YouTube, they're watching you.
They're watching you.
Just want to let you know.
So on the maps thing, can it not? It doesn't just show where you've stopped, right? Because you know how sometimes, which I don't know if it does it on Google, but either in Waze or whatever, it'll say this is where you parked.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Has it ever done
that before to you? And you're not even using
Well, that's exactly it.
Navigation, but it'll be here's where you parked, so you can come back and look.
So here, this is even better. When you take a picture, it adds it into the timeline. So here's a shot. I'm showing Liv a shot of this. This is from the 25th.
Oh my gosh.
So I vacationed at Lake Wawasee in Syracuse, Indiana.
Yes.
This week. You can see exactly where I was the entire day, even on the lake. It's literally showing me a map of the lake plus where we drove the boat on the lake.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I took these pictures, and it shows pictures that I took and puts them in the timeline of my day.
Wow.
The whole thing. And this goes back, as far as you want to. Wednesday the 10th I just clicked on. So this will load up here and shows I took a picture of my porch swing because we just painted it, and shows you I went to work. I had a client meeting that day. I went and got gas at Marathon. It's everything.
Which I guess so, because I also have all of my photos backed up on Google. Mm-hmm. And it will, and I guess it actually does this too on Apple, but it'll put the specific location in which you took that cluster of photos. And I'm that's strange.
Yeah, and I believe that that's something that you can have on or off. I keep it on because I actually like having the data within my photos. If you, the nice thing is in the 21st century, I guess I shouldn't say that, but in this day and age, when you take a picture and it's digital, I can go, I took this picture on this day with this camera or this phone, and it was here that I took it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like being able to go, I took that. Where did I take that picture at? Because it might just be a random picture.
Right.
And I'll go, I took that at my old house, or, and I can use that to maybe, it helps me to be able to organize my stuff or maybe make an album or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm cool with.
So there's a lot of pros to it.
Yeah.
But it's creepy when you're talking with somebody about anything, and then you get on Facebook or Instagram and there's an ad for something you've talked about, and you're like, what? Which, like, they say that, like, they're not using it based on your voice, but I'm like, I've never even searched that.
They are. They have to be.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want to say, but you have to be. Here's my story. So we were talking about this earlier as well, and I said, I'll save this story for you. So this week while we were on vacation, we were talking, we went to eat at a restaurant that was on the water, which was super cool. Mm-hmm. And one of the drinks was called swamp water. And then it said, like, oh, you know, it's a secret. We won't tell you what's in it. Like, literally didn't tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
So we kind of laughed about it. And Levi was there with us, and he goes, oh, there's this racetrack. It's a dirt track. It's called Putnam Raceway or something like that. Never heard of it in my life. Never searched it. Not a dirt racer fan. None of that stuff. Yeah. He says this, and they said they have a drink that's called toilet water. And we were just laughing about it, right? Had a maybe, couple minute long conversation. The next day, I'm scrolling through Facebook. No, actually, it was that night. It was the same day, that night. I'm scrolling through Facebook, and an ad, a sponsored by advertisement for Putnam Raceway with a video in it on how they make toilet water drink came up on my feed.
Shut up.
It's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me like that. Because there's been some times where it's like, it's a coincidence.
Right.
Like, I shop a lot online, so there's certain things that come up, and I'm like, oh, they saw I've been looking at cameras, and they're offering lenses. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I didn't search it, didn't try to see what it was.
Yeah.
He told me the story, I moved on, and then I'm scrolling through my feed, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, how do I know this? And I was like, oh, we had this conversation earlier today.
Yeah.
That was almost too close to home. Like,
that's...
That creeped me out. Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot tell me that you're not...
I never searched it.
That's not being recorded.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, there's just no way. Because I've had conversations like that before. Like, I don't know if this is like TMI, but I'll tell you anyway.
But here we go.
So I was talking with my sisters, and this was a particular time of the month with the red devil in my belly. Okay. And I was just talking to them about it.
Never heard that term, but okay. I've heard a lot of different ways, but I got
It's from New Girl.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I remember that now.
Yeah. And so I was talking to them about it, like, not on my phone at all. It was in person.
In person? Okay.
And I get on my phone, and they're on Instagram showed this was like a couple hours later, but there was an ad for My Doll.
Oh my gosh.
On Instagram. And I sent it to Lauren and Erica, and I was like, oh my God.
They're listening.
Instagram knows My Doll. So that was weird.
It's in somebody's calendar now.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody at My Doll, they're like, they have calendars set up.
I know. Like, but like, for real.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Super weird.
And sometimes it's not even the first time. It's the 6th or 7th time, and you're like, you start to consider it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what? And sometimes, like, I'm not going to lie. I know how the back end of it works, so I'm like, these people are spending a lot of money for this. Maybe the product isn't so bad. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes if your sales, it's all in conjunction, right? If your sales are good and your product's good, people keep buying it, you become a well-known brand. Maybe that well-known brand at that point has the money to do so. There's a reason they have the money. So sometimes I'm like, hey, I might check it out.
You mean like the ad, like the products from the ad?
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of times it's in conjunction with what you like, right? Because they're gathering all of those things of your search and what they hear and all of that. So it's kind of like, dang it, like I don't want to give into that.
Sometimes I like to click on it just to cost them money, and then I back out of it. I'm like, and that's not a conversion for you, so here we go. Boop, nope, I'm done.
Oh man.
Like, if I like the company, I will scroll past their ad on Google, and I'll click on their link just straight to their website, because I'm like, you got me.
Yeah.
I won't make you pay for me today.
Oh my gosh.
There's little victories in life. You gotta take them.
Oh my word. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's an interesting debate. And I think there's so many different ways it can go. And it'll be interesting to see how it all kind of pans out over time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so many of us, I think, in our generation that are like cool with the convenience of it. And it's just like, right, we had Jeremy on last week and he was like, you guys have Google Homes? Like, oh my gosh. But he's holding an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, all of that stuff is the same.
Yeah.
It's just more, I mean, with us, it's just more in your face. You know, when you come home, it's there, but it's just another means. If I didn't have my Google Homes at home, I'd be talking to my phone anyways.
Right.
Every time I wanted to do something, I'd still
Right.
have stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are they getting from me from turning the lights on and off at night with my voice?
Right. And
Well,
that's
you know.
and that's what I've said too, because people have given us crap for that. And I'm like I said, first off, you have your phone always. And so if I don't have the speakers, I have my phone and they're going to be listening. Second, I'm not doing anything that is going to flag anything.
Right.
Like,
they're not putting me on any lists
like,
anywhere.
Hey Google, play Ariana is
Right?
not.
They might just recommend her new album when it comes out.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Great. I didn't have to search for it. Thank you. Thank you, Google.
And me asking Google the weather every like
2
30
seconds.
minutes because I forgot what it said. Oh my gosh. So
I get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at. I mean, I think that there can be bigger implications, and there's probably some of you in your car that are shaking your heads at us.
oh
but,
yeah, probably like our parents.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, mom and dad.
But you know, I don't know. I think maybe some of my privacy is okay to switch off for convenience. And I do enjoy technology, and maybe someday it will come back to bite me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm okay with using it. I'm maybe not okay with maybe some of the methods that are happening.
Yeah.
But there's, I think people are trying to make a difference, and I think it'll, this is with anything, with something new, especially with AI and stuff coming into the forefront. Legislation has to change,
Yep.
laws, rules, everything has to kind of make a shift in a direction because
Right.
society is evolving into a different beast with technology.
Yes.
It was not as prevalent.
No.
Yeah, I think beast is the best way to put
It really is though.
And with anything,
Yikes.
there's always pros and cons. There's good things, there's bad things. I mean, there's never going to be a perfect solution.
Yeah.
And I like my phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
And I think it's
yeah.
fun to talk to Google and play music,
Yeah.
Just this morning, Audrey was like, hey, play this song. Or no, she was like, I got this song stuck in my head. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I say the keyword and I'm like, play the song. And it just, boop, there it is.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I know.
I didn't have that stuff growing up. Like
No.
there was a part of time where I had tapes.
Yep.
And then CDs.
CDs, and you pop the CD into like the 6
Yep,
CD
yep.
like player thing. You're like, nope, not that CD, not
Yep.
that CD.
And you just hear it go,
yeah, yeah,
change it. You thought the whole thing was going to explode on you. And so it's so nice. I'm like, oh, I want to hear this song by this person. And it's like, done.
yeah.
Now,
I know.
I do think that there's going to be a problem with monthly charges, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Don't get me started on NBC pulling The Office from Netflix.
Oh, so this is really funny. Did you see? I reposted on my story that somebody had messaged Netflix and said, "How many likes do I have to get
Yes.
on this
It said
for
5
you
million,
for you
right?
guys to keep The Office on Netflix?" And Netflix responded and said 5 million. And so I was like, I don't know if this is real, but I'm not risking it. So I shared it and reposted it, whatever. And then people were messaging me like, is this real? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm not risking it.
So the scary thing is right after I saw that, of course, I saw an article not that long after talking about how NBC was going to pull it, but then it wasn't going to be on their app until 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like, so wait a second, you're going to pull it and then make me wait a year or two
Yeah.
so I can even if I wanted to pay for it, which I'm not going to, but
Yeah.
get it back.
I know. It's dumb.
They
But they
wanna-
also want to do that with Friends.
Yeah. I know.
Ugh.
Which I'm not going to pay another $14.99 a month to watch Friends in the
No.
Office. I love them, don't get me
I
wrong,
do
but
too, but I'm not. It's
I'm
not
out.
in the cards for me.
I still think Netflix is great.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. A lot of the original stuff is good. I mean, this documentary was a Netflix original. It was
Right.
great. It was in 4K, which
Yeah.
is a big checkbox for me. And
Right. We've been watching a lot on Amazon lately.
they have some good stuff too.
Yeah.
Because they finally, Google and Amazon's finally stopped butting heads a little bit to let the app cast. And now that I can actually cast from the Prime Video app,
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
I see. I didn't know that.
Which I started using it because I did when I got my new TV when I moved. It has Amazon built into the TV.
Yeah.
Which I know yours does as well. But that was the whole reason I never used it, because they were like in this big battle where you couldn't cast, and then like Amazon products couldn't use YouTube. You know, they were like,
gotcha.
They were like shutting each other down on every front that they could, just to like go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, well you can do this, I can do this,
Yeah.
you know. And finally they kind of got out of that match.
Just give the people what they want.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
But-
for the poor souls that pick Alexa products, let them watch YouTube.
Oh, that's great.
You know, I tried to use an Alexa for a little while and I just couldn't do it. That was going from Google to Alexa, and that was just like I had Alexa at work, Google at home, and I couldn't figure out how to use the Alexa. It actually aggravated me. I was like, okay, I'm done with you.
Yeah, I've never used it, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's probably similar, but
The voice sounds pretty good, I won't lie.
yeah.
And I do like how you say a name and it works. I do think the keyword on the Google products is a little annoying.
Because you have to say hey.
Yeah, well, just the whole thing. And try saying Google 10 times in a row and not sounding like a fool. You're like, Google.
Yeah.
Although it does work. I do try different voices on it. It does work. You're like,
There's-
Google.
Yeah.
it's like, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you figure that out?
It's always funny whenever we have music playing and I tell it to pause because I say, hey, Google, pause. And so it sounds like I'm calling it Google Pause.
Right? What's up, Google Pause?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Brad's like, you have a pet name for Google. No, I don't.
See, I wish you could just like tell it, you could like program it what you wanted to call it,
Right.
you know?
Yes. That would be so great.
Mine would definitely be, I can remember the girl's name now. I can't remember the dude's name. From Iron Man. He had the system that he could talk to.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man. Because it's called Friday now. Because the dude actually came to life in one of the movies. Sorry if I'm spoiling it. Jarvis.
Oh.
That's what I'd be like. But that's just
That's good.
I like the Iron Man movies.
That's good.
You know, if you guys have any thoughts on any of this stuff, this is a big issue.
know.
Shoot us, you know, we'll post about this episode on Instagram. So go ahead and maybe like leave some comments and maybe we'll talk more about it in another episode.
Yes.
And kind of like if you have some questions, we can help answer those.
Or if you have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I'd love to know kind of what you guys were thinking about it because it's like I said, it's a big issue, and I think there's going to be a lot of varying opinions on it. And maybe we'll put out a poll or something like whether you have a voice assistant in your house or not. And maybe see like how many of you do and
we
don't.
should, yeah.
That'd be fun. But watch The Great Hack because
Yeah.
it's like an hour and 45 minutes, so save some time. Definitely watch it all the way through. Audrey is not into this sort of stuff, and she's not like a techie or anything.
Yeah.
And she watched the whole thing with me. So
Yeah. It's well
interesting.
done, but you're kind of like, what?
Yeah, there's a couple things when they start talking about stuff like it'll.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to laugh. I don't know how far you made it into it, but the lady who was kind of trying to save her skin, Brittany Kaiser, you know, she was like pulling. The funny thing was like she was using her own data against like this whole data thing. Like they were like she was pulling emails and things from her calendar, and I'm like. It's not, you know, I don't know, it's just ironic, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to get myself out of this issue about stealing other people's data with my own.
With my own. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check it out. We could talk about it.
This
forever,
is
so.
this is kind of related, but not really.
Great. Perfect. What do you got?
So, do you remember, like back in the day, when we used walkie-talkies and it somehow got on the same like I don't like channel? I don't know
Somebody
what you
else's
call it.
channel.
Yeah, but like I remember I was with friends. And this was like when we were in elementary school, and we had like that spy kit thing that was like so cool. And we had walkie-talkies, and it was somehow linked to, I know, was linked to like a police officer. And so you could hear like everything that was coming through like his radio of.
I never had it go through a police officer.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
would just get on like, you'd get on right and somebody else had a channel and they'd be, you know, like, hey, you know, come in from the barn, Johnny, you know, and you'd be like, who's Johnny? You know, like be like messing with them and they'd be like, get off this channel.
Yeah. But no, it was a
Police?
police officer because we could hear
Oh man.
like things that they were like different calls that was made to them, and like
It's crazy.
I'm headed out here to get this, or like to go like get this guy, or like I'm headed to this part of town or whatever. It was really weird.
That's
and so
crazy.
we would just like for like a good hour we're just like listening.
Did you
to
say
it.
anything back?
Yes.
Yes. What'd you say?
I don't even
I didn't know if you remember back yet.
No, I don't even remember what we said back.
Gosh.
Said anything. But like I just like
Gosh, man,
triggered my
That's crazy though. Walkie-talkies.
I
I bought the
know.
girls walkie-talkies, speaking of that, for the trip. And I almost maybe had more fun.
yeah.
I'm like, this is great. And my dad was like, why did you buy walkie-talkies? We have cell phones. I'm like, I don't have to dial your number.
Yeah.
I can just boop
Yeah.
and only talk to you. Or whoever else is on the channel.
Right. Oh god.
I was actually pretty surprised. For $30, you can get some that work at like 23 miles away.
Dang.
I was like, this
What?
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They were tight.
That's so funny.
Well, so
walkie talkies.
what, the spy kit, I had a spy kit too.
Yeah.
What'd you have? You got, what, like yeah, I know there was a lot to them. So my favorite thing was the listening device. It looked like a
Yes.
satellite.
Yeah.
It worked through windows, I will say. You could put it up against a window and we would like listen to our parents talk.
Yeah.
Especially around Christmas.
Yeah.
Because my parents would like go to my grandma's house. They'd be like, go outside.
Yeah.
And you know, that one year that you had all your spy stuff, you're like,
Yeah. Like you feel
am I
like
getting?
yeah.
you know, your friend would be talking, you're like, stop. Walk away. Just listening in on them.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe my brothers had it, but of course never let us play with
Sounds
it.
about right.
But I remember my best friend in elementary school had one, and I would always go over to her house and we would play with it. And it was like, I remember this one time I think it was in like 3rd grade, and me and like, I don't know, 5 or 6 other girls had this sleepover.
Gosh.
And there was quite a bit of a wooded area at our friend's place, whatever. And her mom let us all take a walk through the woods, which like, if I had daughters in 3rd grade, there's no way I'm letting them go by themselves. And if my parents knew that at the time, they probably would have been like,
Right.
No. So sorry, mom and dad.
That's the sad thing, though, is you can't do that now.
No.
But you could do it then.
Yeah. So I remember we had like all this like spy gear
Right, you're
stuff
all
with
like-
us, right? But it like really creeped us out because we got further back into the woods and saw this like abandoned trailer home. And we were like, what? And then some of us got freaked out, like, we should probably like go. And some of them were like, no, we should like go inside and see. And I'm like, I'm not dying today. No.
Right?
No. I don't know who or what is
pass.
in there. But I remember like using all those in like the little like night vision
Oh my gosh,
ones, like when it was darker, like in the woods, and
It was just like a green piece of plastic.
Yeah.
They're like, they're night vision goggles.
Yeah. Like no.
I've always wanted a real pair of night vision goggles.
I have seen one on a scope of like for a gun before.
Oh my gosh.
It's creepy.
Were you holding the gun?
Yes.
Live. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't
I'm just kidding.
know what that means. It wasn't my own, if that makes you feel any better.
It makes me feel much better.
Okay.
Yes. Card carrying member of the NRA, right? So like going back to that whole like walkie-talkie like nostalgia thing. Like, did you have a Polaroid camera?
No, but I have one now.
Oh, now you have one? Isn't that kind of funny how it comes back around?
Yeah, no.
My parents had one.
Okay.
My mom had one. It was like you had to like get it out. It was green. I remember it was dark green with a yellow button, and you like flip the front of it up, and it would go.
Yeah.
And you had to like, it's like keep it out of the light.
Yeah.
I would sit there and be like,
Yeah.
just like flicking it and just kept looking at it like, please,
Shaking it.
please. But it was cool. I mean, even then, like digital photography was like there, but it sucked.
Yeah.
We're talking like 3 megapixels, you know?
Right. But
Look
yeah.
at this picture, it's a half a megapixel. And you're like, oh man, your face is so blurry.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. But no, Brad got me a pink Polaroid.
Oh my gosh.
for Christmas, like our first year together, because I really wanted one.
Yep.
But they are like fun.
They're so much fun.
You know, because nowadays, like you rarely print out photos.
Yes.
So you despise printing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I refuse to get a printer. I don't like printing. Like they fade, first of all. Like they don't last, which is kind of sad, you know? And it's one of those things where like then you have to like remember where you put it, and I can't search it, you know? I'm like, I want to see all these pictures.
Well, usually what I will do is like on certain like events, I have both, right?
Yeah.
Like I keep some on my phone, but then I take one like Polaroid, which I've been really bad at it lately, and I'm really upset because I brought it with me on our wedding day, and I didn't even take any, which I'm kind of sad about.
That sucks.
But
that's the hard thing about it, right?
Yeah.
It's like we don't think about pulling out a camera. We're just like, oh, we got our phone.
yeah, I know, right? Well, and then the day is just busy in and of itself, and our photographer is just following us around all day, which was, I mean, we obviously have lots of photos,
right?
But
well, I will say the stylistic part of it is super cool.
Yeah.
I love the way like the flash looks and the lighting, and it kind of gives it that older style, which is fun because everything
Super
we see
hipster.
now is just like it's clear. Don't get me wrong, it's clear and it's beautiful, and you can zoom in real far because it's so much
then
clarity.
you see all of the ugliness.
Yeah, right. You're like, where's like the blurry light that makes my skin look like it's smooth,
Right, like airbrush.
like airbrush, right?
Yeah, it was really funny. It's been a couple months ago now, but we had our nieces and nephews stay the night at our place, and you know they're, 4, 7, and 8 now.
I was like, are you asking me because I don't know?
Yeah, there's so many of them. I can't keep track anymore. I feel like. But anyway, they found my Polaroid, and I let them like take pictures of each other or whatever, and they thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And so,
which is so fun.
I know it was really cute, and so I let them like obviously take the pictures home with them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we put him in our room." And I'm like, that's so cute. But we decided that for our nieces and nephews' birthday, instead of like doing gifts, like we'll do experiences or events with them, whatever.
I like that.
And so this year, Nora and Sage's birthdays are really close to each other, so we decided to just combine them, which is what we did last year. And so we're gonna do like a photo scavenger hunt, and both of them get Polaroid cameras to do like this list. And so they're like so stoked. Which
That's super cool.
I know, I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
we're doing that this week.
Audrey just bought a Polaroid, and so she left it at the house, and so I was letting the girls play with it, and I was like, "Look at this! I can take your picture," and it prints it out, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
and I get it, and they were like, What?
Yeah.
They thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, yeah, this is what we used to do. We used to have to print these out. Put it in a photo book, okay?
I know.
I can remember going to Meijer and being like, okay, you got to pick up your prints from, a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. Oh, my gosh. My parents have so many of those.
Which they're kind of fun to look through, don't get me wrong.
They are. But
I'm glad we don't have to do that.
I know, because it makes it so hard to try and find photos that you're looking for specifically.
You're like, which book is it?
I know.
Each book has 75 pages and 6 pictures per page. And
yeah.
like,
my parents have like bins of like the little sleeves that they would come in. And like some of them are dated, some of them are not. It's like a hodgepodge.
It all depended upon what camera you had, and gosh.
Oh man,
that's so funny.
Good times. I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram using what are they called? Disposable cameras.
Yes. Remember on speaking of The Office. Erin uses
the disposable camera.
The thing I hate about these is when you're done, you don't get your pictures.
Yeah,
and she
you
throws
just
it in the
throw
trash.
them away. But it's really fun, so I guess I'll keep doing it. Yeah, she just like takes a picture, smile, and then just chucks it.
Oh my gosh, that killed me.
I remember taking a disposable camera on a summer camp trip.
It was the coolest thing. You just go and you bought the camera and you're like, oh my gosh, it's mine.
Yep.
And you can take, it had a counter on it. You're like, I can only take so many.
I know.
Only take like 10 pictures. And do it.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny because like then you get the pictures back and you saw like 15 photos of your thumb that you accidentally took.
Like, dang it. I didn't get anything I wanted.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, take like 20 pictures of one thing.
I know.
Hope they're not blurry.
Yeah. And then if they are, you just redo it then.
Yep.
Brad loves that.
Man, what are our kids gonna be doing? Taking pictures with their minds.
Yeah.
Do they just have to blink?
It's like contacts, so you can like put it in your eyes.
Their brain computers.
Whoa.
They just implant a chip.
That's crazy.
We're like, you crazy kids and your brain computers. I will say I saw a robot lawnmower the other day. I thought that was kind of cool.
What?
It's like a Roomba for your lawn.
Wow.
And it drives around your yard all day and night, and it just mows your yard.
Interesting.
Although that is the epitome of laziness. It takes me maybe 30 minutes to mow my yard.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not sitting on it,
Yeah.
It's my beer drinking time.
Yeah, but some people have to push. Gosh.
True. I did a lot of that growing up.
Yeah.
Most
Our
of it was
yards were
self-propelled.
never like big enough or worth it to have a riding lawnmower.
Well, your parents had like a small village of children.
Yeah.
So, it was like
my brothers were commissioned to be the lawnmowers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they had, that's what kids are for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
So I'm like, I had 2 girls. I'm like, I'm gonna be mowing until I'm dead.
Yep.
I'm gonna be mowing until I get my robot lawnmower though.
Yeah. That's what it was funny because Brad and I were talking about, timeline of us getting a house. And he goes, we really need to consider it because right now we don't have to mow our lawn. I'm like,
it's true. Part of it. When I went from
and he
apartment
knows he'll
to a
be
house,
doing
I was
it.
like,
yeah.
But I don't mind it. It's you get outside, you get to go do something for a little while. There's some days that you're mad because you have other things to do, but it can throw your headphones on, listen to some music. It's a good chill time. Get in your zone.
I've never mowed grass.
Really?
A day in my life.
I'd rather mow grass than have children. So.
I've not done that either.
We're 2 for 2 here. We'll get you behind that lawnmower one day.
No.
No.
That's what I told Brad. I was like, that's your job.
I'm like, I think this is a good subject to end. Mowing lawns.
Oh man. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I know. Now I'm just freaked out. I'm going to throw all of our electronics away.
Nah, I'm out. I'm still I like my stuff. I broke my phone the day before we went on the trip, and I thought I was going to freak out. But it's my business. I had two deals that were getting ready to close, and everybody's like, what's going on with this? And I'm like, looking at my phone. I'm like, I can't see you.
See it. I don't know.
I was talking to it, trying to get text messages out, and I had it connected to my computer so I could text people like, where there's a will, there's a way.
It's true.
Sending emails. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I just recently got a smartwatch, so I was using it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do.
What'd you get?
I got a Samsung.
See, that's what I've been looking at, mostly because they're cute.
They're actually really nice, and it's round.
The rounded one.
Which
Oh,
I'm
seeing it
probably the same as you were looking at because they make it like a
rose gold.
Yes. Which Audrey fell in love with too.
Yep.
She's like, oh my gosh.
I know. It's really cute.
Which I think she's gonna switch. I think she's coming to the dark side, just so you know.
Audrey.
She likes the Google phone, and she's really mad at her iPhone. I said, I don't blame you. She's had lots of issues though, which some people do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with going back and forth. It's not my thing. I've used one once. Had it for a week because I broke my phone and somebody had an iPhone and I needed a phone desperately. So I think it was a 4 or a 5.
I had an Android up until 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. You had an Android when we met.
What?
Yeah, you didn't have an iPhone.
When we went.
When we met.
Oh, I was like, when we went where?
When we went where? What we do?
Yes. Yeah, I've had a couple Androids.
There's pros and cons to all of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother. It really doesn't. I know I like to talk crap, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. If you want to pick the lesser of 2, that's fine.
Oh my gosh. Whatever.
If you want Apple to control your whole life, that's fine.
We're going to put up a poll, too, of Apple versus Android.
I'm going to lose. Guarantee it.
We'll
I
see.
I know it's
We'll
getting
see.
very close, but
We shall see.
I'm waiting on Samsung to come out with their foldable phone.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Well, yeah, that's because it broke and then they took it back.
Did it?
Yeah. Well, so
wasn't it launched already?
So they announced it, and then they announced the date that they would ship.
Okay.
So people had pre-ordered, and then the review units were already out. And so everybody was doing their reviews, and like every review unit broke.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so the
They're
problem,
like back to the drawing board.
well, so okay, I'll just real quick. We're running out of time, but the problem is I think at the last minute, like the screen itself is on the inside. It's like a clamshell, right? And so it opens up like a book. So you have like a 4.6 inch screen on the outside, and you have an 8 point something on the inside. So it's a decent sized screen.
Right.
The problem is it has to be a plastic layering for it to actually fold itself. It can't be glass.
Right.
So that plastic layering, it had the usual layer on it, and then they had put a protective layer on top of it. Kind of seemed like an afterthought, not gonna lie. It looked like a screen protector. It didn't go all the way to the edge. And so a lot of the review people thought that it was a screen protector, and like myself, I can't stand having a screen protector on my screen.
So people were taking it off.
They were peeling it off. Peel it off, it was like it was like a very important part of the screen, and when they were peeling it off, it was breaking the screen. And then like one person had like a problem with the hinge. I think like a part of the hinge is underneath that folding part, and it had come through and poked up into the screen, which the screen is malleable, so it kind of
right.
So there were a couple issues with that, which with anything new they're going to have problems. But it was literally supposed to launch in like May, I think, and so now I think they're talking September now. But I'm still intrigued.
Are you gonna get it?
If the review units go well,
You'll consider.
I'll consider it because I just enjoy trying something new.
Yeah.
With technology, I've usually been at the forefront. Like I had the first ever Android phone on Verizon, and it was horrible.
Was it?
It was hateful.
It was hateful.
There was not like the system was so slow. There wasn't enough, computer to push the system itself, and so it was so slow. Oh my gosh, was it slow? And it was funny. It had a little trackball on the front of it.
Oh my gosh, like a BlackBerry.
Oh my, yeah, exactly like a BlackBerry. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Dude, BlackBerries were baller.
They were, and they were fast.
Yeah.
And this was not. Oh my gosh, it took a while. Like it came a long way.
That's great.
So I'm like, I'll give it a go. If it breaks, they're gonna replace it. It would be a pain, but at least I know Samsung has done their, they do their work, and it's not like they can't replace it if something's wrong with it. So I was like, I'll give it. It would be perfect for my job. For me to be able to, like, I work with so many documents that in order to be able to flip a phone open and have a bigger screen, almost like a tablet size, I could actually sit there and do some other things on the road that I couldn't do otherwise. Because it's either I use my phone or I pull my laptop out. And that's like the difference between something that's, 6 inches to 15.
Yeah.
And so now I'm sitting there in my car, like all scrunched in, trying to like type on my laptop and turning on my hotspot.
It's true.
So it would just be really cool. Like, come on. Like if I showed up, I was like, boom.
No, like it is very cool.
And they said that supposedly it actually helps with your usage of the phone because the front screen's not big enough to really do anything with. Which is funny to say that 4.5 inches is not big enough because that was like the original iPhone was 3.5.
Yeah.
But like to look on Instagram or do Facebook, like it's just smaller. And so they said a lot of times it kept them from wanting to like go fully into the system and do other things. So it kind of kept you off some of that stuff. I was like, well, I could deal with that because I got a problem.
Does your phone show you like your weekly usage?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
I don't look at it.
Every time it like will show me a notification and I'm like,
yeah, I know, right?
It's up like 17% this week.
Oh my gosh. My favorite thing is to look at how many notifications you get in a day, and it's kind of scary.
Oh.
Like it says like, oh, you had 450 notifications today, and I'm like,
gosh.
It tells you how many times you unlocked your phone. That's the sad part.
Yikes.
But
I feel like maybe we should do a part 2 of like phones and technology.
Hey, I'm in. Let's do. We're gonna put out some polls. When the episode goes live, we'll go ahead and put out some polls for you guys. We'll take that information and Liv and I will check out some stuff. We'll kind of look at like our usage and everything, and we'll talk about some of that.
We'll do a part 2.
All of that comes into that whole. Those are data points. Yeah, they're using this to show us how often we use our phones, and it's supposedly like on Android, it's called digital well-being, because they're saying like you can set limits on apps,
right,
and it locks you out or blacks them out or whatever it does. I don't use it,
yeah,
and so it's like supposed to help you, but here's just more data points that they're finding. Like this is how many times you use your phone. This is how many times you unlock it. This is how often you use this app. It's crazy.
Yeah,
We'll put some stuff together.
Okay.
Anyways, watch The Great Hack.
Yep.
Think about it.
It'll be a couple weeks till we can do like a part 2 because we have some guests the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that. Stay tuned. We'll release who it is soon.
Yes, I don't even know who it is.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess I do. Liv handles that. You know, she's just like, hey, show up and look pretty. So normally I can only get one of those times.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. We appreciate everybody listening, of course. We're going to wrap this one up here.
Eventually.
Yeah. Try Coffee Junkiez. It was good. Mm-hmm. We got lots more stuff coming. We're going to keep moving forward here. Lots more guests for the summer season. We're continuing to put stuff together. We're having lots of fun doing it. You guys are listening. We're getting good feedback. We appreciate all of that.
Yeah.
We should have a, we don't have a definite date yet, but we should have a late night again coming soon. We're going to work on that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then we got some other cool things kind of in the works now that we're going to have some fun with. So stay tuned, and we appreciate everybody that listens every week and that keeps up with the episodes, and you keep us motivated and wanting to continue this, and we're having fun with it, and we hope you are as well.
You're the reason we get out of bed.
That's exactly it.
My gosh.
On Saturday specifically.
Yeah. But seriously.
But for real.
Because really, we just want to sleep.
Of course, if you want to message us, if you want to comment on anything, do it. We want to hear what you have to say. If you want to be on the show, contact us. We'd love to have you on if you have something interesting to talk about, or if you just want to chat with us on the air. We're totally down for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, we appreciate you guys. And
that's it.
So that was episode 19, and we appreciate everybody. And we out.
We're out.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if we could do the clink. Like, oh, barely.